We are deeply concerned at the implications of this Strategic Services Amendment Bill 2016. The more research we do, the more the bill appears to really, the end result of it would be to really have an onslaught on the constitutional rights of citizens, their rights to privacy. It is civilian-led, therefore it doesn't have the checks and balances of where the police do their work or the defense force do their work in the fight against crime. You are now seeking to give the SSA powers that will not have those checks and balances that the police have. The SSA director will now in effect be given that power to wiretap, to spy, Trini will say to mako anyone, anytime, any place, anywhere. The government appoints the director. That director then is in charge of hiring everybody else. So where are the checks and balances to ensure that the recruitment that takes place is done in a manner that will not result in hand-picked persons being selected to work in this SSA? It goes deeper. Our Data Protection Act was passed, it isn't fully proclaimed, and so the balances that are contained in the Data Protection Act are not found in this SSA. And therefore your name ends up on a database which can then be shared nationally or internationally. You are blacklisted on land in New York or land in London or land in Brussels. And you did not even know your name may have been in a database because all this is done secretly. You will never know whether you are being intercepted, in other words, being spied upon. Yet further, there are no provisions as to how, what criteria will be used to place people on this database. Is it all green-shared people? You will be on that database. That is the criteria. There's none given whatsoever in this act. Yet further, there are no real oversight mechanisms. I want to ensure that this is not taken out of context, that we are against crime-fighting measures, that we'll oppose crime-fighting measures, but we want to see that the proper checks and balances are placed within the legislation, and we understand, we've seen the escalation in crime, and we are very supportive of it. But at the same time, there must be what is known as a balancing of rights, that is, this is the right to security of the person and limb, life, property, and so on, but also the balancing of your rights, your other rights, such as rights to privacy. So these are just some of the issues, but it impacts, as I say, on every citizen, whether you be a businessman, whether you be an ordinary husband, wife, communicating with each other, members of your family, whether it be media personnel communicating with your sources and otherwise, whether it be politicians, trade unionists, it will impact on every single citizen in terms of breaches or violations of rights to privacy, rights which are enshrined in our Constitution, and rights that also form part of the Bill of Rights of every democratic nation in the world.